In 2013, an Austin, Texas-based single father named Joel and his 12-year-old daughter Sarah are thrown into a terrifying nightmare. On the eve of Joel's birthday, a sneaky brain-infecting fungus turns into an unprecedented nationwide epidemic, shattering their peaceful existence. They are forced to make a desperate escape, with Tommy's assistance. The trio splits up in the midst of the chaos, with Tommy valiantly repelling the infected hordes. The real terror, though, comes when Joel and Sarah confront a soldier who is firing at will while carrying out ruthless orders. They are forced to fall down a hill with their lives hanging in the balance after a terrifying encounter that sends them flying. The soldier attempted to kill Joel, but Tommy intervened with a lethal shot. Sadly, Sarah's fate is set, even though Joel only sustains minor injuries. She receives a fatal wound, passing away in Joel's arms, leaving an enduring scar on his heart. Joel and Tess, now smugglers in the barren quarantine zone surrounding Boston, set the stage for the dystopian summer of 2033. Joel is informed by Tess about a murderous ambush attempt after they have just returned from a risky transaction. In search of justice, they come across Robert, a neighborhood gun dealer who had acquired their weapons in exchange for money owed to the elusive Fireflies. They set out to confront the Fireflies after Tess' ruthless retaliation. They unintentionally cross paths with Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies, who makes them an offer, the return of their stolen goods, doubled, in exchange for a dangerous smuggling mission. As they quickly learn, Ellie, a young girl, is the contraband. While Joel secures the safety of Ellie, Tess confirms Marlene's promise. Once more traveling together, they make their way to the Capitol building, where they will meet up to deliver Ellie. Armed forces ambush them, changing the course of their journey. Ellie reveals that she has a cordyceps brain infection, CBI, while undergoing a scan. Despite being infected, Ellie has miraculously survived 3 weeks after being bitten. They escape while being pursued by the soldiers in the hopes that Ellie's unusual condition will result in a treatment. The Capitol building, where they eventually arrive, displays the killed Fireflies, dashed hopes, and hidden bite wound of Tess. Joel must accompany Ellie to Tommy, an ex-Firefly who might be able to help, Tess begs him to do. Tess refuses to leave while Joel and Ellie flee, defying both time and the soldiers. Joel demands Ellie ignore Tess and do as he says in order to get a car to take them to Tommy's. Ty need a car, so they first go to Bill, Joel's old acquaintance who owes him a favor. After getting through several difficulties, they manage to get the car, with Joel and Ellie on their way to find Tommy. Their road trip comes to an abrupt end in Pittsburgh when they get ambushed by hunters. Joel and Ellie later make an alliance with Sam and Henry, two brothers trying to get back to their group. Everything goes well, until they have two groups separate due to circumstances. Joel and Ellie are surrounded by the hunters at a damaged bridge. She dives into the river. Joel follows despite her inability to swim, only to be knocked out. They discover Sam and Henry when they awaken on a beach. They travel through dangerous sewers and hunter-infested neighborhoods. They spend a quiet night of memories once they get to the radio tower. Sam had changed overnight. This tragic event saw a grieving Henry kill Sam before taking his own life. Joel and Ellie's quest for hope leads them to a fortified dam where Joel's estranged brother Tommy and his wife Maria live. Tommy shows Joel their power plant while Ellie is taken away by Maria for a meal inside the dam's fortified walls. In order to transfer the burden to Tommy, Joel reveals Ellie's special situation to him in private. But when they start to argue about old grudges, a bandit attack ends the conversation abruptly. During the altercation, Tommy observes Joel's natural instinct to defend Ellie and decides to step in. A hurt Ellie, however, rides off into the distance on a stolen horse after learning of their scheme. After noticing her absence, Joel and Tommy launch a desperate search while fending off bandits and their own simmering tension. At a deserted ranch house where they'd ended up after their search, Joel and Ellie get into a heated argument. In reference to his deceased daughter Sarah, Ellie accuses Joel of abandonment. Joel then makes the heartbreaking statement,
"You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad."
Tommy's admonition about the bandits' invasion ends the conversation. Joel decides to go on the journey with Ellie by himself after leaving the ranch and coming back to the dam out of guilt. Following Tommy's departure, they continue on their way to the University of Eastern Colorado, where the Fireflies laboratory is located. The abandoned university echoes its emptiness. But just as the Fireflies are found by hostile survivors, a found recorder provides a hint as to where they have moved. Joel is impaled and seriously hurt as a result of the ensuing chaos. Joel's condition deteriorates despite Ellie's heroic efforts, leading to his loss of consciousness and leaving Ellie to fight for their lives in a desperate manner. Ellie hunts alone in the icy stillness, expertly dispatching first a rabbit and then a stag. Her victory, however, is fleeting because she runs into James and David. They propose trading her deer for their supplies during a tense conversation. Joel urgently needs antibiotics, so Ellie agrees. As they defend themselves from an onslaught of infected enemies, Ellie and David form an uneasy alliance. Once they are safe again, David shockingly admits that he is part of the group of the men ambushing Joel and Ellie at the university. Ellie feels terrified, but she is released and given the priceless antibiotics before she can react because she is outnumbered. Joel is given the antibiotics back at a deserted home while still unconscious. But David's crew finds them, and their brief respite is cut short. Joel is left behind as Ellie bravely leads the group away. Her ill-fated diversion results in David shooting Callus and capturing her. The horrifying sight of James butchering a human body greets Ellie as she awakens in a makeshift jail. Unfazed, David continues his efforts to win her trust. Ellie's resistance, however, results in a physical confrontation, a broken finger for David, and a menacing statement from him.
Where'd you put it? Tiny pieces. See you in the morning, Ellie.
Joel is beginning to get up when he notices Ellie is not there. He extracts Ellie's location from two men using force, motivated by desperation. He throws them away and walks in the direction of the hotel where Ellie is being held hostage. Ellie's survival instincts take control while she is at the resort. After biting David, which reveals the extent of her infection, she uses their shock to kill James and flee. David and she play a dangerous game of cat and mouse. She finds herself trapped in a burning restaurant. In the midst of the flaming chaos, both pass away. Ellie notices David's menacing presence as Joel approaches the burning building. Ellie kills David with his machete after a vicious struggle that starts. As they flee, leaving the deadly silence of the burning restaurant behind, a confused Ellie, at first afraid of Joel, collapses in his arms, sobbing. Ellie seems to be thinking about something else as Joel and she get closer to their destination, St. Mary's Hospital. An unexpected sight draws their attention among the ruins, a herd of giraffes, a representation of life enduring in the unlikeliest of places. As a result of the encounter, Joel is forced to consider giving up on their goal and suggests they return to Tommy's Dam for a simpler existence. Ellie, steadfast in her resolve to see their mission through, asserts that their sacrifices must not be in vain. As they proceed, they come across some abandoned medical tents, which brings back a difficult memory for Joel. Ellie gives him a picture of him and his daughter Sarah as a token of acceptance for their shared past. She does this by demonstrating her understanding. Their peace, however, is short-lived as they pass through a perilous tunnel that is flooded and crawling with infected. Joel tries to save Ellie after she falls into the water due to the commotion, but they are caught by a Firefly patrol. Marlene welcomes Joel as he awakens in a hospital bed. She explains that Ellie is undergoing life-ending surgery to remove the infection for a vaccine. As he is being led away, Joel violently flees in an attempt to save Ellie after his protests go unheeded. He battles his way into the operating room where he finds an unconscious Ellie. He is able to flee to the underground parking lot as fireflies close in, only to run into Marlene there. Ellie would willingly give up her life for the vaccine, she claims, so she wants to persuade him to let her go. But when Marlene relaxes, the focus shifts to Joel leaving the hospital by himself. Ellie begins to stir in the stillness of the car. Joel avoids answering her questions about the fireflies by saying there are other people who are immune to the disease and that they have given up looking for a cure, omitting Marlene murder. Joel carries on their journey back to Tommy's Dam as silence falls and Ellie's disappointment is visible in her face. Joel fixes their broken down car as they make their way back to Jackson County, and a thoughtful Ellie tenderly traces her infected bite mark while she muses over their recent ordeal. The two started walking towards Tommy's settlement to continue their journey. Ellie interrupts their journey to challenge Joel's version of what happened as the reverberations of their encounter with the fireflies grow louder. She discusses the countless friends they have lost to the pandemic and the heavy burden of her survivor's guilt, and she ponders whether her own sacrifice might have been able to stop the pandemic. She begs Joel to swear that his account of the fireflies abandoning their mission is accurate in order to give her some comfort. Joel assures her that it is because he is constrained by his protective lie. Ellie reluctantly agrees to his response while battling her doubts.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning into Game Flash. If you enjoyed our content, hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all our latest releases. Don't hesitate to drop a comment with your thoughts and share the video with your friends. See you next time on Game Flash.